Mentioned not really knowing where you'd be 5 years from now, from 5 years ago. The industry as a whole has changed a lot. Women's wrestling has changed a lot since you broke into the business. So kind of talk a little bit about, or take us on the journey a little bit of how the women's wrestling and the opportunities in it have changed, and even opportunities for the type of athletes that are in women's wrestling have changed a lot over that time too.
So when I grew up, I wasn't allowed to watch professional wrestling. Part of that is because when I was probably 3 or 4 and my mom walked in the room to see me watching professional wrestling, it was during the Attitude Era. And she shut that down. So I didn't grow up watching it at all. And then when I did start wrestling, one of my mom's biggest concerns was how are they going to portray you and how are they going to treat you. And I tried to sort of make her feel better. I don't think it worked, but by telling her, you know, sometimes you have to be the character in the story that, you know, is either the bad guy or is the victim, so that you can tell the end of the story where the bad guy gets their comeuppance and the victim, you know, gets to come out on top, and you have to show the other parts of the story. And that's something that not everybody likes to see, and I think sometimes it is hard to tell important stories, and something that I think we as a society like to do is not look at the parts of it that we don't like. But if you don't look at those things, especially the things that are uncomfortable and that are negative, then you can't fix them. You just sort of ignore them because I don't like that, and I don't like to see how the women are treated that way. Well, it doesn't stop just because you don't see it or you refuse to look at it. So when people look at it and are made to feel uncomfortable, that's when they start to feel a certain way, to where they think, oh, maybe we should do something about this because I don't like seeing that. I don't like how I felt. So it's a very fine line to where you can use that discomfort to help compel people to do something positive versus just shock value and having people walk away going, oh, why did they do that? So that's something that we can really use in a positive way. And I always look to the women who did go through the times where all they really had to look forward to. And I'm not saying, I'm sure the women had a lot of fun working together, but I don't know that all of them really trained and worked as hard as they did, so that when they finally got a few minutes on TV, it was like, all right, you're going to be in bra and panties and you're going to have a pillow fight, or you're going to use household cleaning products and you're going to fight each other and the loser gets a makeover. I mean, and I'm not making these up. These are real
they
things.
all happened. Yeah.
We remember them. But they went and did it because I think, for one thing, they could tell the story, and somebody has to be the bad guy, somebody has to be the good guy. But also, when they went and they did that, and they did what they were asked, and they were entertaining, and then they showed what else they could do. It's like, okay, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to swing a broom at someone, but then I'm also going to show you how athletic and how compelling I can be. It's sort of like a Trojan horse kind of thing. It's like, all right, you know what, I'm going to go hit my girlfriend with a pillow, but we're going to create a moment and make people feel something. And then that's when you start to get more minutes on TV and more opportunities. And when that started to happen, I believe that young women began to see more opportunities and a bigger variety of roles that would be available to them. Because before that, it was, oh, if I train to be a professional wrestler, this is what I have to look forward to. And if that's not what I want to do, and I don't think that's the best use of my efforts and talents, then they may have chosen a different path. So once we started to see more opportunities that weren't just those sort of stereotypes and pigeonholes, then I think more women started to choose professional wrestling as a path and stay with that path. So more women began to train, And because of that, you start to have a better selection of, when you have more quantity, then you can really start to pick and choose the quality. It also creates a lot more competition. So instead of just being able to work regularly as a female wrestler just because you were a female and you would show up, you had to deliver. And that, I think, pushed a lot of women to step up their game, and then we could challenge each other, and that created this environment now where we have all of these women that are competing with each other and elevating each other and challenging and pushing each other. So now it's just continued to build and move forward, and then that in turn creates more roles and more opportunities, more companies, more minutes and more money, and then you keep getting just the top and the pick of the entertainment world and the sports world and everything in between. And I think that's going to just continue.
Were there any women's wrestlers or even men's wrestlers who were influences on you as you got into the business and as you were kind of growing and developing your own self in the business?
When I started first watching wrestling, I was trying to go back and watch as much as I could and catch up as much as I could. And so I've always loved people like, I really like a lot of the technical wrestlers, like the Dean Malenko and Regal and all of the Benoits and Guerreros, because I grew up watching high school and college wrestling. So when I saw those guys do that kind of technical style wrestling, I was really interested in that, and I still am. That's what I'm drawn toward. And then I do remember when I sort of got started training, seeing people like Mickie James and Beth Phoenix, who were, even though it's crazy to think they were the representatives of the different body types, which is crazy because they're still like amazing, fit, like athletic women, but they were like the big girl. I mean, we'll take what we can get and try to move that narrative a little bit further, but they were different than what was being presented. So seeing those women who could make their own path has always been very inspiring to me, and that's something that I've been able to do a little bit, and I want to continue to do. But it's difficult to be in an aesthetic industry where there are certain expectations. So you have to buy into it in some ways, but then change the perception in other ways. So it's like you kind of have to play along some in order to change things from the inside.
Yeah, and it's exciting to see how the story has changed over time too, just changing people's minds one by one. So thank you.
Thank you.